Looking for great amenities, access to trails and open space, maybe a fantastic view along the way? Well, here are my top picks for best neighborhood for 2024. Hey everybody, it's Alyson Wahl with Live South Denver, your real estate strategist and realtor for the South Denver area. We're hitting on 5 under the radar picks that you do not want to miss out on. These hidden gems tick off the most common requests that I hear, like a nice community feel, great on amenities, it may be a full-blown fitness center and community center, or it may just be tennis courts and a community pool so that it adds to that feel of getting connected. And of course, that access to trails, open space, and give me at least an opportunity for a view. Okay, number 1, Ken Carroll Ranch. The draw to Ken Carroll is location. I don't mean location by convenience, I mean location by aesthetic and views. Ken Carroll is absolutely one of the most beautiful places to live in the metro area. It has wide open meadows, it's got beautiful rock formations, it's tucked slightly away, keeping it away from the hustle and bustle, and with it being nestled up against so much open space and natural area, it does make it a quiet place to live, but it also brings in an abundance of wildlife and nature. Another reason it's so highly coveted among residents is all of the amenities. Now, if you're looking online and you spot a house that's in Ken Carroll, you're gonna see just the string of populated amenities that come with inputting a home in the MLS. It will say clubhouse, parks, trails, tennis courts, playgrounds, just things that you could see in many other communities. It's just, that doesn't do it justice. It leaves out events like the horse and carriage ride they're doing for the holidays, the hot chocolate bar with the Christmas carols, or maybe the pumpkin patch, or the 4th of July parade. That amenities list doesn't mention the community garden that is available. The mention of trails doesn't note that those are private trails, so residents get color-coded bracelets every year so that when the park rangers are out, they can note who actually belongs on the trail versus who's trying to just drop in and enjoy them when that's not really who's supposed to be using them. You can bring guests, but those trails in Ken Carroll are really oriented just for residents of the area. It doesn't mention that one of the pools and a set of the tennis courts lie right in the shadows of a beautiful red rock formation, or that there's so much open space in the community that they actually have camping spots dotted throughout the area. There are really no other that I know of communities in the Denver metro area that you can camp in your own neighborhood. Now, it's also key to know if you're going to be up against this much open space and in the area that we are, that Ken Carroll is a fire-wise community. So that is also a big plus, not just for safety and security, but for your insurance company. Now, if you want to know of a downside to Ken Carroll, it might also be its location, right? So I just espouse all of the wonderful things about being there, but because it is tucked away where it is in the deep southwest corner of the metro area, if you have to commute out, if you don't work remote, if you work up north, if you have to go to the downtown area every single day of the week, it is not a short and easy commute. Homes in here fall across a whole range of price points. There's really something for just about everyone. Single family homes start in roughly the $600,000 price point, and homes that back to stunning wide open vistas on open space can go up to around the $4 million range. So if your budget falls somewhere in there, we've probably got an option for you here in Ken Carroll. Here's a quick run of stats. The median age of home is 1984. The median price over the last year, $900,000. The median home size, 3,550 square feet. And the median lot size, 0.21 acres. Now, with the median age being 1984, if you're wanting new construction, you're probably thinking, oh, I have to rule that out. Well, no, that's not the case. I have a bonus for you. There is new construction coming to the Ken Carroll area. Now, all the new construction is going to be outside the Valley Ranch area and to the other side of 470, as you can see here on these maps. However, just the fact that we're getting new construction in the Ken Carroll area is great news. All right, so that map showed you what and where the build out will be. Here, this map shows you what the different parcels will look like. Here's parcels A and C and what that construction is going to entail. Parcel A will be almost 250 homes being developed by Lennar and Toll Brothers, so single family homes. And then parcel C is going to be a multifamily product that generally means a product for rent. That's anticipated to be just a little over 300 units. Here's what parcel B will look like. Construction's underway, the dirt is moving, so that one's gonna get going first. This is gonna be almost 200 units by Lennar. These will be alley load townhomes. This is really nestled right in and around retail and restaurants and shops, so it'll create a fairly walkable lifestyle, which will be nice. All right, moving on to neighborhood number 2, we're moving over to Columbine Knolls. This is still in Littleton, but we're moving east. This is a great, mature neighborhood that keeps us on the west side of I-25, which is really a favored area. People love to be on the west side, just that preference to be closer to the mountains, particularly people who are moving here from elsewhere and are moving for that Colorado lifestyle. Columbine Knolls offers really good size homes and definitely ample size yards. So when there's a pushback on new construction because of how small the yards are becoming, this is a really great option. You certainly are not getting squeezed in with most of the yards over here. An added bonus with Columbine Knolls, you really do get a good size home, good size yard at a very decent price point. Columbine Knolls proper fits into one city block. There are some areas around that will be Columbine Knolls South, Columbine Knolls North, and there's Columbine Hills. But Columbine Knolls itself fits into a city block, and that city block is served by the Columbine Knolls Recreation District. It has a pool, large green space and parks and tennis courts. That large green space and park, you'll see families and soccer teams coming and spending their time there on weekends. It's really well used. It also makes it a great place to plug in and get into the flow of community if you're coming with a younger family or wanting to start a family. If you're in a life phase that doesn't include kids or you're just an active adult, the tennis courts help with that as well. Location-wise, I think Columbine Knolls is in a primo spot in Littleton because just to the west, you've got Target, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's. You're a short distance to get over to Red Rocks or Bear Creek Lake Park. You can do a lot of hiking in a very short distance from there, and you've got all the retail that you would want. To the east, you've got Aspen Grove Shopping. There's a farmer's market there on a regular basis. You've also got the entrance right there at Aspen Grove to the South Platte, which is a great walking and biking trail. If you're looking for a downside to Columbine Knolls, it would be that the houses are older. They certainly have loads of different styles of architecture. Some have definitely gone out of style. For the sellers, those can be harder to sell, but there are some that are really still highly desirable. There are some mid-mods, there's definitely some traditionals, but with them being on the older side, that means if you've gotten one that's not yet remodeled, you're putting in money and or time and or sweat equity to get that house up to date. Now, there are certainly remodeled homes. I have a client who bought one in here. They paid the price to get that remodeled home, and it was definitely one of the larger ones. So on the spectrum, we're looking at homes that run from about $600,000 to over $1 million, depending on size and condition and lot. Here are some stats for this area. The median age of home in Columbine Knolls is 1970. The median price over the last year is $730,000. The median home size, 3,100 square feet. And the median lot size is 0.28 acres, with most lots running between 0.25 and 0.39 acres in size. Now, neighborhoods 1 and 2 are both in Jefferson County. We're moving on to Arapahoe County for top neighborhood number 3. Top area number 3 is Homestead. I'm talking Homestead in the Willows, Homestead Farm. All of this area is so favorable, highly coveted. Let's talk about why. Buyers love the homes for its unique architecture. Its location makes it so convenient to get into the tech center or shoot over to I-25 for a shorter commute into downtown versus the southern suburbs that are south of 470. The community feel and the amenities. So the neighborhoods have pools and swim teams and tennis courts. And the neighborhoods are set up so that at least in one of them, the school is like right inside and you'll see families walking their kids to school. The other neighborhood just got a brand new school that's really popular and highly coveted. If you haven't yet stumbled across this video I did on the area, you may want to go in and check that out for a deeper dive. Now, as I mentioned, schools are a big part of the draw in here, but there are 2 different districts that are zoned across Homestead. If you prefer the Cherry Creek district, you would want to focus on Homestead in the Willows. For some families, it really focuses on the elementary school and which choice they want because they aren't as concerned about where their kid's going to go to high school, and Cherry Creek High School is often the draw, where the elementary schools are very unique and both good. Home pricing in these neighborhoods has a very wide range, just like the other neighborhoods we've been talking about. You'll see single family homes starting in and around the $600,000 price point, and they go up to the 2 millions. Homes that hit into the 2 million range are usually very large, have quite a large plot of land, usually no one behind them. Otherwise, we're generally down into the mid, maybe mid upper, but usually mid 1 millions for a large and remodeled home in here. If the home hasn't been remodeled, we are usually below $1 million. It's pretty hard to be over $1 million on a home that still needs $300,000+ of updates. What is really desirable are the homes that back up to a green belt. You can kind of open your gate, get on a trail, move through. It's really a lovely area with, again, that unique architecture. Leans more toward a Nantucket, Northeastern style. Homestead does have its downsides. There are homes that push up against some power lines, so you do want to be cognizant about the location of your home when you're choosing houses in here. The median age of home is 1978. The median home price over the last year is $960,000. The median home size is 3,300 square feet, and the median lot size is 0.2 acres. We're swapping counties again and heading down into Douglas County for top neighborhood number 4, and that is Castle Pines, particularly Castle Pines North. Castle Pines on the whole is a great little sweet spot. It sits north of Castle Rock, so it doesn't feel quite so distant and separated from the southern suburbs like Lone Tree and Highlands Ranch. It offers both existing homes and new construction, which has been incredibly popular too, to have both choices. And Castle Pines has just enough retail going on inside the town to allow everyone to get all of their needs met. It's got the little post office, it's got a library, it's got the grocery store, it's got some restaurants, but it doesn't attract people from outside the area to come in and shop there, so it keeps away the hustle and bustle. Now, when I'm talking about Castle Pines North, I'm talking about the enclave of existing homes that sit on the west side of I-25 and north of the gated Castle Pines Village Golf Club. Castle Pines North is popular for large homes, some larger lots, having an area with lots of trees, hence its name, right? It doesn't feel barren. It doesn't feel like it's just sticks. The pine trees, the evergreens keep their leaves. Castle Pines feeds into highly rated schools, which I hear from a lot of people is very desirable for them. And much of Castle Pines has good potential for views, whether it's an open space corridor or if you get up a little bit higher than your neighbors, maybe even some mountain views. It's hard to call Castle Pines North one neighborhood, much like Ken Carroll. It has lots of sub-neighborhoods to it. There are more than 15 sub-neighborhoods inside the Castle Pines North area. You've got neighborhoods like Forest Park, Winterberry, Glen Oaks, Buffalo Ridge, Hidden Point. If you'd like to learn more about the gated and non-gated areas of Castle Pines North, you can check out videos I've done of the gated and non-gated areas right here. Now, out of the top 5 neighborhoods we're discussing in this video, only Ken Carroll rivals Castle Pines for home style choice. There is just such a wide variety of home styles. Both Ken Carroll and Castle Pines offer custom home options. There are homes with land, there are smaller homes, you've got homes with views. There's just so much choice and home style and terrain differences. So if you're really looking for a place where you can see a lot of different home types, then these 2 neighborhoods would give you a lot of choice to pack in 1 or 2 days. The nature and the trees in Castle Pines also make a huge difference. I have clients who snagged a great little remodeled home in here. It's probably in the 3,000 square foot range, but it's backed up into a yard that feels like a mountain forest. And even today, after all the home price increases during the pandemic, that home would still sell for under $1 million. And then I just help clients close on a home that is on 2 acres of land, is a custom build, has 6 garage bays, and that house is in the multi-million-dollar price point. It has mountain views. It's perfect. It's gorgeous. And that doesn't even show the full spectrum of what you could get inside the Castle Pines North area. So with the gated communities and non-gated communities, acreage spots, custom homes, traditional homes, view corridors, open spaces, it's something really for everyone. Is there a downside to Castle Pines? Well, yes. It's a lot like Ken Carroll has, in that the location is a little off the beaten path. When I hear from clients who love what Castle Pines has to offer but end up choosing somewhere else, it typically has to do with the fact that they don't like having to drive about 15 minutes to get to their healthcare providers. There's not a hospital in the Castle Pines area. You've got to go to Castle Rock or up to Sky Ridge in Lone Tree, or they don't like driving 15 minutes to their kids' schools if they're outside of the elementary area. The private school or the high school can be up to 15 minutes away from the Castle Pines area. So there's just not a lot going on in Castle Pines, so you feel like you're always driving out to get what you need. So for people who are homebodies or remote workers, it can be very nice. For people who are on the go with kids' sports and activities, you're commuting out a lot. The median age of home is the year 2000. The median price over the last year, $875,000. The median home size, 4,250 square feet. And the median lot size, 0.22 acres. I would say that median price point is a pretty fair assessment. You could get a well-sized, traditional, production-built home in Castle Rock for roughly around that $875,000, $900,000 price point. Okay, you've seen us move from west to east. We've not been going in order of favor. We've been going order of direction. And I have skipped over Highlands Ranch. I have skipped over Castle Rock. I have skipped over Lone Tree. We are going to skip over Parker. I am not moving those and demoting them out of favorite areas or neighborhoods. It's just that they're popular. You all know about them. I want to give you something a little bit different, focus on some smaller niches, maybe give you a leg up on other buyers, show you some hidden gems, like I said, that you may just not have known about or dug in on yet. So neighborhood number 5 is to the east. We're back in Arapahoe County, but we're on the east edge of the Denver metro area with Southshore in Aurora. For some people, the draw of Southshore is location, but typically not. Southshore is more often a draw for the fact that you get a lot of home, you get a pretty new home, you get it for a good value. I won't say it's the cheapest place to get a home, but a lot of new home for a good value and some great amenities. The rec centers in the Southshore are outstanding. They don't look industrial, they look like lake houses because the whole lifestyle in the Southshore surrounds the Aurora Reservoir. It's all water oriented. So they've built these lake house style rec centers. They blend in with kind of the housing style in the area. Very pretty. And then you go in and they have a lot to offer. They have sections with games, pinball machines. It's very fun, whereas when you go into a rec center, say in Highlands Ranch, it's oriented more toward programs, activities, fitness, a little less just pop off and have some interactive fun with friends kind of situation. A general bent toward gathering together, and I like that. I like that feel that they're ingraining into the community, and there is more than one rec center. There are mountain views possible in the community as well. You just got to get up a little bit higher. When you're out to the east, your views are not as much up in your face, but they are long and wide, so you see a whole bunch of the mountain range, which also has its own beauty to it. Some folks have opted for views of the reservoir, so you get a water view instead. Those homes may be even pricier than ones with mountain views. If you get both, you are certainly going to pay a pretty penny for the house. Now, downsides in Southshore might be easier to spot. I would say there are a few of them. However, it doesn't mean I want to rule out this area at all. It's actually really spectacular, but there is more airplane noise. It is under a flight path to DIA, and it is near Buckley Air Force Base. So you will hear planes from both. Now, all of the Denver area gets to hear flights out of Buckley quite often. We love it down where we are in the Parker area, but we don't hear them nearly as much as those who are closer to the Air Force Base. But we did hear the other day while we were out capturing some of these homes that had snow on the ground for you, some Southwest flights and some planes heading into DIA, and not everyone is really tolerant of that kind of noise. Right now, this location feels a little bit far out for some people. It will not always feel that way. Parker used to feel really far out to people. Castle Rock sometimes still does feel really far out for people. But as Denver continues to expand and make housing for the demand that is there, These areas tend to just get rolled in and feel like, oh yeah, I live over there. Oh, I live in Parker. Oh, I live in Castle Rock. Oh, I live in Highlands Ranch, which used to feel like it was the middle of nowhere. And for some people who like to live in city core, these places always feel far away. But once you kind of get yourself into a suburb and watch everything beyond it grow, it doesn't feel so far. And so this is really going to always be, I think, one of the top eastern neighborhoods, eastern suburbs, just because of all the amenities, the lifestyle, the water, the access to the reservoir, the rec centers, the caliber of homes. So if you are open to living in this side of town or have a reason to, getting in early is always great for capitalizing on equity growth. Now, something else to say about this side of town, everyone in Aurora has to do their due diligence about drilling and Superfund sites, but it's not only those in Aurora, this happens in other parts of Denver as well. So if you have any questions, qualms, concerns about maybe there being fracking anywhere around where you may live, or a Superfund site, which means a former military site that has been under cleanup, then do that research, because there are some of those things not too far away from the Southshore area. You'll see in the stats when I get to those in just a moment that the homes in Southshore are by far the newest of any of the homes in the top neighborhoods for 2024. There are even a few new builds still available. There's just not enough of them for me to put Southshore in the top new build neighborhoods of 2024 video that I'm going to be putting out shortly. Another perk of buying a new but not brand new home in Southshore is that your home won't have to have complied with Aurora's new WaterWise program, meaning you can actually have grass in your front yard and backyard. All these newer homes starting in 2023 have to have essentially rocks almost everywhere. They get a little patch of grass at best in the backyard, but you're really seeing builder gray rock front yards almost everywhere with a lot of rock in the backyard. And while it's not that I hate the WaterWise program, it's just not visually appealing. So anyone can go WaterWise. It's just that when you design it with your own landscaper, you really get something that's aesthetically much more beautiful than what the builders are putting in. So if you like yards, you like grass, you like plants, you like trees and aesthetics, getting a mature home, even anywhere from 2 to 8 years old, you're going to get something much more beautiful in that way. All right, here's the stats on Southshore. The median age is 2016. The median price over the last year, just $715,000. The median home size, 4,100 square feet. And the median lot size, 0.18 acres. All right, here are some videos that give you a couple deeper dives into these neighborhoods, as well as the ones I shared earlier in this video. If you want to chat about what top neighborhoods might be your best fit, please reach out. You know, I'd always love to chat. And I will see y'all next week.